Hey everybody, welcome to another Soul to Soul Summit. I'm Jonathan, volunteer for Heal of Thrive Community, and today we're going to be interviewing Dr. Jaena and talking about her presentation that she'll be giving at the summit. So stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss it. Like the video, comment below, share it with somebody you know, and if you haven't registered for the Soul to Soul Summit, head over to our bio and go ahead and register there. Everybody needs to be there. We want everybody there. Donations go to the Core 4 Supplement Campaign and the Patron Project. And so this is for a great cause. And we would love to see all of you there. And today we're going to be interviewing Dr. Jaena, and I see her now. So we'll get her on here. How's everybody doing? Drop a comment. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box. And we'll try to share those with you tonight. And I'm really excited about this interview with Dr. Jaena and to hear more about her presentation. And all right, there's a few more days to register for the summit, so make sure you get over there. And there's tons of free resources and downloadable gifts available as well from each presenter. And there's meditations, there's PDFs. It's really, really an amazing assortment of gifts and goodies and knowledge and wisdom. There she is. Hey, Dr. Jaena.
Oh, hey. What a day. I tell
Wearing
you.
wearing all wearing all the hats that you have, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why this whole Soul to Soul Summit and fundraiser is so close to my heart because support is so important.
Mm, yeah, it really is. It really is. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear more about your presentation and yeah, I know that we talked a little bit, briefly before the intro to this interview process for the Soul to Soul Summit. But for those of
Yes.
that didn't join and that weren't able to see it, if you want to hop into a little bit of your story and background and how Heal of Thrive came to be.
Sure, like in a 2-minute nutshell.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I am a chiropractic physician. I've been in practice for 25 years. And you think graduating, you have everything you need, but you don't. Um, so I graduated in 1999, got married in 2003, my firstborn 2007, and she was born with a congenital issue. She had major surgery 2 days later, and then she was okay. We brought her home like a month and a half after that surgery. But I was wondering, why did this happen? What was going on? And this was way before medical medium. And then at 21 months old in 2009, she just started having this reactionary airway, um, just had a hard time breathing. And I was noticing wheezing, and then it just full blown came on one night. I came home from work, and my husband was holding her, and he's like, I don't know what to do. She's having a hard time breathing. I said, well, let's take her to the ER. And that was the start of our journey. Like,
Mm,
that was 2007, September of 2007, emergency room September, emergency room October, emergency room November, and just no answers. And just her lungs would just tighten up. She's gasping for air. We don't know what to do. Like, I didn't know what to do, but just take her to the ER, right? So it was just a long standing journey for about 10 years. Still no answers,
mm,
still not sleeping, still watching her, like just waiting for that next thing that's going to happen at each and every night because
mm,
she was in acute flare up very often. And then in 2018, I could see the red flags. I was following the trendy traps. I was trying to find a shortcut to helping her heal. It wasn't working. A doctor was saying essential fatty acid deficiency is a cause of her asthma, so why don't you take fish oils? And this little girl would listen to everything I would tell her. So she's
mm,
taking 10 capsules of fish oils every
mm,
single day, hoping that the asthma or reactionary airway disease would go away. Um, Eating the eggs, eating the proteins, even though deep down inside it, I'm just like, this isn't, I know fruits and vegetables, but then they look at you funny. They're very shaming of the
Mm.
parent trying to do what's best for the child. And and so, I'm just like, well, let's try this approach. Then I'm going to give it a try. Let's do the proteins, let's do the eggs, even though I was weary of it. And for the year of 2018, that's what we were doing every single morning, steak and eggs and all sorts of stuff. And I could like literally feel my insides congesting. But my little girl was the indicator. She was getting mucusy. She would just catch something and then her lungs would flare. And I would just start seeing these red flags at the end of 2018. And and then I was just like, I got to stop this. I just feel like I have to stop this. So my mama intuition started to kick in. And then going into 2018 to 2019, I just started getting these messages from above. Jaena, you have to make a choice. Either you keep your center and your family's health, especially your daughter's health, will worsen, and it doesn't look pretty. I mean, I was getting messages and visions like you have to choose. If you don't close your center, if you close your center, you'll be able to help your daughter, help your family, and then help myself because I was already in survival mode all that time. There was really no rest for us. We were always anticipating when's the next flare up. We were always like frightened to go into the ER because I felt like I was going to get shamed and not being a good mom. And then here's my daughter flaring up again, and I'm a doctor of chiropractic. What does that say? So there's like a lot of judgment, going on in my
Mm.
head at that time. And you question, I was questioning a lot about me at the time, but somewhere between 2008 and 2019, even though I was introduced with medical medium in 2016, just because of our lifestyle and my responsibilities and having a center open, I just could not implement it, even though it resonated really deeply. I thought maybe there's another way. So I did. I tried another way just to see, but it wasn't. It just made my daughter worse. And that's when, what resonates with me now when Anthony says it's not your fault because I didn't know. I didn't
Mm.
know the truth. And so going into 2019, I knew I had to shut down my center. It was a beautiful 3,000 square foot space. I was there since 2003. Now it's 2019. And we built this wonderful community in the area. And I was just like, you know what? I have to let it go. I know there's something greater on the other end for not only myself, but my family. And who knows what else will unfold. But in early 2019, I literally, in the middle of the night, when all else failed, I couldn't find answers with the medical doctors. I couldn't even find answers from my colleagues and friends. I mean, we did past like regression, energy work, the pharmaceuticals and medications. I mean, um, there was just so much. I can't even name them all. But I literally, in the middle of the night, I was sobbing and I was down on my knees. I said, God, please help me help my daughter heal because I know she has the capacity to heal. And um, and then soon after that, I came across Liver Rescue book. And then a few months, I was started implementing it in February. Her viral load was so high because, a year of eggs, a year of
Mm.
exposures, even more. Um, we were at a vacation spot not too far from our house, and she started flaring. And so she was worsening.
Mm.
And nothing that we were doing, even implementing medical medium, like I think her viral load was just so high that the trajectory, right, was already in momentum, like in motion, and we couldn't put it out. So she flared horrifically, and at night, like it was around 9 or 10 o'clock, we packed everything. It was like we just wanted to get away and rest. And what happened? She flares up, and she caught a bug again, and it flared up her lungs. And we ended up driving her from that spot all the way to about an hour away to the nearest children's hospital where she would typically be seen. And her lungs were so tight that they had to seal the oxygen mask around her face and get the medications in. And she couldn't eat for like almost 3 days because if you eat or you try to feed her, she could aspirate the food and then it could go into her lungs and it can make it worse. So that was like, you know, our pivotal moments. And when she got out of the hospital and I was reading Liver Rescue book, I'm like, honey, I don't think it's going to take for you to heal, but we're going to follow this work from this
Mm,
point on. So that
mm,
was March of 2019. She came home from the hospital April of 2019. So that started our journey. We started to implement. I closed my office in June. It created more space for more healing. And then September of 2019, my mom flares up
mm,
with her dementia. And luckily, I closed my office because I had room, I had space to help my mom too. And then that was a journey that just allowed me to see the world of chronic illness, the epidemic, how there's really no answer that anyone gives you, really, even from my profession. Because I do acupuncture, I do nutrition, I do chiropractic, I do all mind body work, spiritual work, ever since way back when into 2000s. And I never received the truth of information that I've received from Anthony. Because when the moment I read the Liver Rescue book, it answered a lot of the confusing questions I had that no medical authority or even alternative community, they couldn't answer it. But when I opened that book up, because I would always say there's something going on with her liver, it's backing up into her lungs.
mm,
And I would always say that to the doctors, and they're like, well, why do you say that? So then they bring it back to me. I'm just like, physiologically, the liver is a cleansing organ. Something is happening to where things are backing up and it's inflaming her lungs. I didn't know specifically what it was at the time, but I knew inflammation, but no one tells you the true cause of inflammation, which is a pathogenic load feeding off of the toxic waste and heavy metals and so forth, creating inflammation if it's not a physical injury or a toxic chemical exposure, right? So that was my journey, and I just started seeing like how critical people needed support, especially a caregiver. Like I was taking care of my daughter, I was taking care of my mom with the help of my sister. My husband was working full time. He did his best to help out as much as possible. But I just from my own experience, it was like, I'm glad I had medical medium information because if I didn't have that information to help me out,
mm,
I don't think I would have had the stamina, the spiritual strength, the energy to be able to assist my family, my daughter, my mom, my husband, because in the beginning I was doing everything. I was doing the lemon water because my kids were young at that time. There, when we first started, it was 11. I think my daughter was 11, 9, and then Puma was just, I think, 4. I think that was 2019. Yeah, Puma was just turning 4. And so I was doing everything. My husband was working. And I'm just like, I look back, I'm like, how did I do it?
mm, mm,
And then
mhm,
as I started to share my mom's story and my daughter's story, just people from the community started to reach out to me. And I just started to see this, just really see how that people really needed support. And this dream was planted in my heart of creating a community of support, a new model of caring and health support way back in 2009 after a spiritual retreat. And and I was talking to my friend around 2019, fall of 2019, after my mom had her flare and stuff like that. And I had lunch with him, and I just that the idea of that community space, the idea of a physical healing center where everyone can be taken care of, where people's foods can be prepped, that was the vision that I saw. And as I was sharing it with my friend, he's like, you just lit up sharing this with me.
Mm,
And then, so I think that was actually 2020. So then I just started sharing it more with him and with some other people. And then 2021, we started getting the paperwork ready for Heal Live Thrive community.
mm,
Um, and then we became a not-for-profit in the fall of 2021. And it's really to support our community. Our main vision goal is to actually have a physical location where people can be taken care of 24/7, where we can have meals prepped for people that are working, that are burnt out, and they need that support. So having it on a ground where, we can grow our food, so that was the big vision. But as we started, I'm just like, I couldn't jump into that right away because I was taking care of my mom. Like it was just too overwhelming. So we just started off slowly, like giving books away,
mm,
like doing fun sweepstakes, stuff like that. And then as 22 came around and 23, and then 24, it was like supplements finally because my mom was in a good place. My daughter was starting to be in a much better place. And then it just kept growing and growing after that. Now it
mm,
started off with a team of three. Now we're at a team of, I don't know, 12, 13 now. And it's just been an incredible journey.
mm. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it hit me different this time listening to your story. And yeah, it's just a story of resilience. And I don't know if I've told you, but I was in the medical field for over 10 years, and I worked in the emergency department a lot.
Oh,
And when you mentioned Forgotten Souls, when we first started talking about the Soul Summit, it just hit me when you were just talking of like your your mission to help the forgotten souls. And from my experience being in the ER, I saw so many people come through that were there every week, every month, just constantly coming in, and just running through different tests and getting
yeah.
injected with heavy metals and just so many different hoops they're jumping through. It sounds like that you went through with your daughter and your mom. And yeah, I'm just feeling into this whole new uh, perspective of this helping the forgotten souls that you speak of. And so yeah.
Exactly. Like with my mom especially, she would have been forgotten because,
Mm,
you take her to a nursing home,
mm,
what are they going to do? She
mhm,
was in a nursing home for a month after she fractured her hip in February of 2022.
mm,
And her dementia was so bad, she was scratching the nurses, she was yelling at them, she was walking outside of her room, even though she had a fractured hip that was pinned.
mm,
Uh, Someone needed to be in her room 24/7, but no one was available. And
mm,
I remember them calling me one night and they said, "Hey, your mom isn't doing well. She's kicking and screaming and scratching the nurses. And, we want to call you to see if you want to come down and help her right away, or else we'll need to sedate her."
mm,
I'm like, I'll be there. So what
mm,
do? I grab celery juice, I grab some heavy metal detox smoothie, I grab some magnesium, all of these, supplements, and I bring a whole pack to her. And given, she was really moody, her mood was not in a good place,
mm,
but I did my best to calm her down. And my mom, when I speak to my mom, her soul is there. So I'll say things like, Mom, if you drink this, it's going to help calm you down. You're going to feel better. I just need you to drink this so that they don't have to medicate you.
Mm, mm,
And so she listened to me. And I probably got there around, I think 9:30, and just slowly gave her some celery juice, waited a little bit, then started giving her magnesium, some lemon balm, waited a little bit more, and then gave her some, I think it was heavy, I think I brought heavy metal detox smoothie. And I just kept calming her down. And then eventually she went to sleep. That was real
mm,
medicine.
mm,
And then
mm,
the moment she fell asleep, I was able to leave. Um, so she would have been forgotten because no
mhm,
one would know how to support her. And I was thinking, gosh, if I wasn't here to be an advocate for my mom, where would she be? She would have been forgotten. She would have
mm,
just been long suffering in the nursing home, eating whatever stuff they have in the
mhm,
kitchen, which
mhm,
you look at the menu, there's really no healing options.
mhm,
And so my personal experience, I'm just like, she wouldn't be here. And that was 2022 when she fractured her hip. So I had to really be an advocate for her. And then even with my daughter, one pediatrician thought that her illness was caused by depression, and she wanted to put her on medication. Like, how do you get reactionary airway and asthma and
mm,
depression?
mm,
So you're saying my daughter is making her illness worse because she's depressed? I'm sure she's depressed because she's been dealing with this since she was 21 months old. Like, do you have any compassion to our journey as a family? And from my experience working in, meeting people in the medical community, they have great hearts, but there's some there that really, just press your buttons and it's just like, so are you saying it's my fault?
mhm.
So a lot of times I
Yeah.
have to bite my tongue and
Mhm,
not react to them.
mm,
And I
mhm,
just like, they don't know. I know. I've been dealing with this with my daughter since at birth, when she had that congenital defect and she had to have major surgery at 2 days old. Now I know why she had a congenital defect because of all these poisons and toxins and heavy metals that screw up the neurological development
mhm,
and how the child develops, right? They don't express the true design of how God made them in the first place because of all this noise that's in
mm,
there from the moment they were in the womb.
mm,
So, so yeah, so she would have been forgotten too.
mm,
If I didn't know or understand her condition, then I would be just like everybody else. Well, why aren't you healed by now? You know,
mm,
like, why aren't you taking your medications? Like, there's a particular mindset, and it's not very compassionate.
mm, mhm,
So the journey that I've taken was to, like with my mom, when she's in her worst dementia flare, she'll yell at me. She'll close the door. She'll say, I want to go home. I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore.
mhm,
Or she'll yell at me for whatever reason, or she'll forget, and her memory would go way back in the past, and then she'll blame me for something that I didn't do. So, so like one night she's just like, "Why didn't you tell me you got married?" I go, "Mom, I got married like 20 years ago." And I was showing her pictures of us being married, I'm like, "Here, remember you were here." And she just would not let go. Oh my goodness. So, my mom especially, I had to cultivate a lot of compassion.
mm, mm,
So the journey has been really rough in terms of that, especially with dementia and especially with what my daughter has gone through. And even though I'm a physician, I've been a physician, I've experienced so much, especially since applying medical medium information and helping people the
Mm,
last 6 years. It's like it doesn't matter what my credentials are. It doesn't matter how long I've helped people with chronic illness and what I've found and what's helped. It's like there's really no dialogue. I can't have an open conversation, or I don't feel safe enough to have an open conversation with other medical practitioners. And it's not their
mm,
fault, but for me, I don't feel safe because I've already been judged. I've already been shamed. No one has really reached out to say, hey, I understand. Let's work together. You said this has been working. Sure, let's keep doing that. And let's try to bring these medical tools in while you're doing, medical medium or whatever.
mhm,
It's been a really difficult journey.
mm. Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it.
So, we use the medical team when we need to use them while I'm trying to help my daughter heal, or
Mm,
while I'm trying to help my mom heal. Because
mm,
if I don't do what I'm doing, the next thing is, what's that next medication? Okay, that's not working. Well, let's do this one. And that's the only answer that we seem to come across.
mm,
And
mm,
then if I go the alternative route, say to another naturopathic, well, fish oils. I'm like, and then I want to have a conversation, but I know there's ego involved. So it's really hard to have a conversation. So then I just bite my tongue and I'm just like, my daughter still needs her medication. She still needs her albuterol. She still needs
mm,
her steroidals right now.
mm,
And, it's just been a rough and tough journey. That's why I'm so passionate about Heal and Thrive community and creating a community of support for these forgotten souls. Because seriously, if I wasn't here keeping an eye on things, they would be forgotten,
mm, mm. Yeah.
especially from my family firsthand.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's amazing. Lisa here, I'm going to read a couple of comments. She says, bless you for being a caretaker. It's so hard. And yeah, just hearing that testament, that story to that, and the challenges of caretaking. And I love what you said. It's like bringing in the wisdom, the right knowledge, and the right tools and support. But then, as you experience in your own situation, there needs to be more support, right? And there needs to be you can't do it all ourselves as much as we try. And it sounds like you've made a I mean, you've done it, but I imagine in that journey, you're like, this needs to be bigger. We need more people together.
It does. We need to bring it
Mm-hmm.
to the light. I
Mm,
think the struggles are real for a lot of the people that are chronically ill, that don't have support. Like, I'm just grateful that I could be there for my mom and my family and my
mm,
daughter.
mm,
And I receive so many messages all the time, like just simple supplements that we send to people all over the world and through the United States. Just the messages that they give me, like they're seen, they're praying and praying, like they're not being seen by God. And then next thing you know, they get a doorbell ring and then there's a box of supplements outside their door. Like, how is that possible?
mm, mm,
So there's some miraculous timelines, divine time happening, because God knows what we need. And even before we pressed order or send that order through, like through Bimergy has been a godsend for us because they've been giving us tremendous discounts, which gives more value to all the supplements that we're able to send out. So something that's like $1,000 worth, we're getting $1,300 worth, or
mm,
close to $1,400 worth of supplements instead of the thousand. So it's just been incredible when we bring it to the light and we ask and we bring people together, and then more people bring it to the light. It just unravels naturally. Like, it was a big feat for me to even say, we're going to help 27 beautiful souls with Core 4 supplements the most recommended supplements that medical medium says is critical that
Mm,
everybody should have. B12, lemon balm, zinc, micro C. Everybody should be able to have those four critical supplements. Everyone. And we had to raise $27,000.
mm,
Well, actually more because of shipping costs and stuff like that. And we launched it in 2023. And I shared this with you. The Core 4 launch was in the emergency room because my mom's sodium level dropped so much I couldn't manage her. I had to take her to the ER. I was launching the Core 4 campaign right from my phone in the ER as we were waiting for doctors.
mm,
Because I'm
wow.
just like this, nothing's going to stop this because I know how darkness works.
Mm,
And with all the light that we're pouring out right now, it's been very active.
mm, mm,
But anyways, but that was 2023. We completed that mission, even though it took a longer time than expected, which it was really divine time. Completed it this year. So 27 amazing souls got over 2,000, maybe close to $3,000 worth of supplements.
wow. That's amazing.
If you look
That's,
at it that way, yeah.
mm,
Um, yeah, because we did, or no way, it was like more like 1,500, sorry. So each one had like $1,000 worth for the year, and it came out to be like, $1,500 worth of supplements.
mm, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to read another comment. I believe this is Lynn. It's so gratifying to witness your mother transforming with your compassionate love and healing information.
Thank you,
Mm.
Lynn.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I love that. And I want to kind of use that to segue into something that was coming to mind for me when you were talking is when you gave your mother safety, you gave her information, you gave her wisdom, you gave her love, compassion, and a safety where her soul could feel safe. Her soul could, come back
Yes.
in and hear you. And so um, I'm very curious. I know a lot of people are too to hear about your presentation. It's a very unique title, and I'm curious to hear more about what you're going to be sharing at this presentation.
Yeah, so it's all about the soul remembering. When I
Mm-hmm.
say soul remembering, it's the soul coming back into the body and then it's infusing our consciousness. So now, oof, now we remember.
Mm,
And from my whole experience, just from my whole 25 years of experience, especially the last 6 years of experience implementing medical medium information, from the beginning, I've always said safety first, always said safety first.
mm,
Even before medical medium, um, I would always do my best to create the most safe and sacred environment when people come and enter and trust or care. I've had people just by creating that safety environment, they could feel it immediately. They can trust immediately. And I've had there's been some emotional clearings, like miraculous stuff, spiritual clearings, soul connections, where I can literally see the soul jump back into the body. I've had people where they've been in constant pain and I could just feel the guidance from above telling me what to do and where to place my hands and what emotions were involved and what trauma. Like it goes really quickly in my consciousness, right? So I'm just like doing my best to be guided. So like someone say with sciatic pain that's really horrific, supposed to get a surgery like a couple weeks, but then had a blood clot and the sciatic pain was so horrific, couldn't walk on it, couldn't put pressure on his feet, couldn't walk more than like 10 feet without sitting back down and elevating his legs. And I just created that environment, just listened and told him what was going on, shared some medical medium information, and just try to create safety in his nervous system, tried to help him break the fight and flight pattern that he was experiencing. So after the first visit, he was able to sleep. After the second visit, he was able to start walking around without pain. After the third visit, he was able to go to the store with his wife. After the fourth visit, he was like 80% better.
Mm.
So it was just more validation how we can create safety through the nerve, and whether it's through us touch, touch or compassionate presence, or the foods like Anthony Williams, right? Medical medium, everything that we put into our bodies, the Holy Four, it's meant to create safety. When we do cleanses, it's meant to protect the adrenal glands. It's meant to create safety. Because if we don't create that environment, the body will resist. It's
Mm.
just a natural instinct. And so I'm going to share a bit more of that. I'm going to share a tool that I've been sharing on my page called the Sacred Safety Posture. We're going to make it experiential so that the moment people leave, they're like, wow, this is what it feels like to feel safe, to
Mm.
have that experience. Because the moment you do, you access more healing. Your body's able to cleanse even more efficiently and effectively. And you can add any modality to that. It's not just like, oh, is Dr. Jaena's sacred safety posture is going to fix it all. No, it's not. It's meant to open the door
Mm.
so that you can come back to your original design. So I'm going to share a lot about that and guide people into that experience of what it's like to create safety through the nervous system, and then bypass the mind, bypass the stories, bypass the emotions.
Mm.
um, but you can integrate it. You can integrate those thoughts into the posture. You can integrate certain feeling frequencies, and that's what I'll talk about too. Maybe we'll touch base on certain feeling frequencies that could integrate, and then teaching them how to lock it in, to lock in
Mm.
that frequency. There's certain postures that really help to integrate the mind, integrate the body, integrate the soul. So the more safety your soul can come back into your consciousness.
Mm.
And that's what I've been witnessing. Um, now that I know, I'm using it more intentionally. And as Anthony says, when you know how to direct the light, like we're all learning right now. But if we can master that even more so, get really good at it, I believe that we can tap into our original design and tap into our supernatural healing powers that we've been blessed with from above, and
Mm.
not be so limited on the physical aspects of our healing, but to really integrate it all: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, soul, heart, like to really integrate it
Mm.
all together.
Mm.
And so that's my focus. That's what I want to share with people. And my gift. I was thinking about my gift. Uh, I was thinking. I don't know if all of you want to do this, but I was thinking about having a sacred safety posture workshop, and it would be a free gift to everybody
Mm.
that joins and participates in the Soul to Soul Summit.
Mm. That's awesome.
So that would be my gift. An experience that could possibly be life-changing,
Mm. That's amazing.
life-saving.
And
Yeah.
is that something that for people who are watching who could be on Couch Island or Mattress Island, is there modifications for everybody who's got their own chronic illness issues?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to provide all these postures. What I found, it started off with me going to a Psych K workshop,
Mm.
and it was all about the subconscious mind and assisting with releasing the charges and helping the body shift gears into a more parasympathetic state. But as I started to explore that just really recently too, It was like I started to receive all these downloads of how we could utilize this. At the time, it was called the whole brain posture.
Mm.
But because of my neurological background and MM background and just my experiences with clients and just my openness to guidance from above, it's something that everybody can explore. Like I'll teach the framework of it. It's like me being a music teacher. It's like, can you learn these notes? And if you can learn these notes and understand it, can you create your own music, basically? So this posture is meant to be explored. So
Mm.
I'll give tips here of like if you're on Couch Island, this is what you can do. If you can't cross your arms this way, then this is what you can do. There's a and it allows you to see the power of prayer. When you bring your palms together, you're integrating you're integrating already. You're combining the whole brain. You're meeting at the midline. You're bringing the right and left hemispheres of the brain together when you do this. When you touch your head, this was all downloaded. When you touch your head or your voice, when you want to speak, right? You can activate certain things, or when you place it over the heart, you can activate certain safety buttons, I would call it, to gain more access into the subconscious, into your soul, so that your soul can bring down, help you with even more information. So then your soul will, give you more information as well as the intuition from above. And then when you like actually intertwine it, this is more of a surrendering. Have you ever noticed like when people are praying and they're just succumbing to the moment and they've just been battling so hard and they're at their last leg. They don't know if they have yeah, any more oomph in them, right? And and then they'll do this.
Mm.
And there's something incredibly powerful
Mm.
when you clasp your hands together like this. And if I do a workshop, because they're all going to be guinea pigs, because I'm just trying to start teaching people this work. And so they'll help me out. So it's a gift for them and it's a gift for me because I get to see what's going on and how people respond to it. But children can learn it, parents, grandparents, people on Mattress Island can learn it. I don't know, any of you have done, I know some of you, I see some of you that are here that have done the sacred safety posture.
Mm.
I do it all the time because, as Anthony has shared, this is planet stress. So I just accepted it. I'm like, okay, this is planet stress, but the planet stress is not going to overwhelm me, even though it
Mm.
tried. It tried to today, actually. But but I go into the sacred safety posture, and then in that sacred safety posture, you can bring in medical medium meditations.
Mm.
You can bring in the nerve resting technique. You can bring in prayer. You can bring in so many things.
Mm.
And that's what I love about it. And once you know the framework of it, then you can explore it. You can tweak it the way you want that works with you. Like it's not my technique. It's something that I've learned that I'm just sharing with people
Mm.
that's going to help them break that constant pattern of fight and flight, because that is our default. We go into fight and flight. We go into emergency. We go into fear. We go into doubt. We don't go into questioning. We
Mm.
go into all of that, right? On
Mhm.
this journey. It's not perfect. It's not easy. That's for sure,
Mm.
right? So how can we create resilience? But we have to consciously use our free will and say, no, not today, not now. I don't have time for this,
Mm.
you know?
Mhm.
And so you use all these tools, you learned how to integrate them that best serves you on your journey so that it keeps telling your nervous system and soul, I'm safe, because you know what? No one on this outside of myself is going to create it for me. I have to create it for myself. So then we start using our free will. And the more we can do that, we move out of the fight and flight and we come back into safety. And then we can gain more access to healing information intuitively and so forth. So So yeah, so that's what I'm going to share in
Mm.
like 40 minutes.
I love that. It just speaks to, bringing empowerment to each person
It
to be able
is.
to come back into their bodies, like you
Yeah,
mentioned.
free will. It's
Hmm.
all about free will. So,
I'm going to read a few comments here. Walk Upon Water 144. You amaze me with all you do to help your mom and family and the community. Love and appreciate you so much, Dr. Jaena.
thank you.
Let's see. And she also says, yes, please. I love the safety, sacred posture. Incredible, says Lisa. All day, every day. Every time I rest. Kathy's on it every day. I love it. Good. Sacred, see, walk upon water. Sacred safety posture has been so calming to my body with all I am going through. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh,
There's the testimonials.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
it's so powerful.
Mm,
Like we don't have to do a lot. Really, we don't.
mm-hmm, yeah.
Anthony always says every little bit counts, and this is a little bit that can help move the needle and make things work a lot more effectively and efficiently.
Mm-hmm, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And like we said, bringing that empowerment, that knowledge, that wisdom back in, and allowing the liver to feel safe, right? Because our liver has
Yeah.
a consciousness.
Well, liver is the peacekeeper of the body, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm,
And our body is always, what does Anthony say? I just read it. It's always trying to strive for peace. The liver is always doing everything it can to move us into a state of peace. Well, then how can we best support the liver but to create peace with it?
mm,
Because we choose it.
yeah.
So it's just one of the many tools, but from my experience, it's been so foundational. Because once you open the system up, then you could add like, the liver, hand over the liver, doing the fingertips across the
Mm,
liver and all that stuff.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Everything just works more openly because you basically said, let me create a safe and sacred space first so that everything I do after this is just, it's going to be amplified. There's going to be
mm,
more light to it,
mm. I
and
love
more
that.
receptivity at a cellular level.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to hear more about that. I know a lot of people are. And is there any other messages you want the community to know about the upcoming summit?
With the upcoming summit, this is a huge feat for us. We have, you know, gosh, when I received the message, was it back in May, Kathy? It was really early May, April or so this year. I had this message of we need to bring souls together. And then I shared it with Kathy, and she was on it already. And well, if there's a message, we're just coming together. Everyone's sharing their journey. We're bringing darkness to the light. We're bringing the forgotten souls to the light. We're bringing each and every one of your journeys to the light so that your
Mm,
soul can be acknowledged, so that just by acknowledging your soul, you're opening the door to lighting the path to soul growth. So what's our intention as a community? It's really a celebration of our souls, is what I get. And I'm getting goosebumps as I share this with you. It's a celebration of our souls, everybody, every soul, bringing each and every one of us to the light so that we may grow tremendously and get inspiration from each and every journey. There's 18 presenters that have been in the front lines, chronically ill, helping people in so many ways, so many unique paths. And when we share our stories, when we use our voice to share, it awakens our soul, it awakens our light, because there's a soul conversation going on. So it's not just the presenter's words speaking, there's more to it. That's why it's called a soul to soul summit. Our souls are connecting to each other. So even though you're sharing and presenting and speaking these words that are coming out, there's a deeper soul to soul connection and communication going on that says, wake up, wake up. It's your time. It's
Mm,
our time.
mm,
It's our time to bring darkness to the light. It's our time now, and that's what I kept getting. It's like, and if you notice a pattern here, look at how much work Anthony has been doing this year. Angels, demons, and spirituals came out, and he's been talking about the soul a lot. And I had a dream a while back ago. I know whenever we have interviews, mine's always the longest one because I have so much to share. But it wasn't that long ago. It was probably a couple of months ago or so. I had a dream, and Anthony was in the dream. And we were in a classroom together, and he goes, you might want to mark September 25th, 2025. And that just anchored in the dream. I'm like, what's September 20? Now I'm counting numbers for numerology and stuff like that. But then here he is with an event, September 16, 2025. And it lands right in between our Soul to Soul Summit.
mm,
So what does that say? So I always read into this. I always look into, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, there's something going on because September 16, 1-6 is a 7. Work for God,
mm,
work for the light. Even the number September 25, 2-5, it's still a 7.
mm,
Work for
mhm,
God, work for the light. Our Soul to Soul Summit starts 999. September, which is a 9, 9, which is a, 9, and then 2025, which equals a 9. So there's
mm,
something about this completion, right? When we do the liver rescue, what's the 9 for? Day 9.
mm,
What are we purging? What are we deeply purging that we've prepared ourselves for? So that we can make room for more light, for more compassionate love, for more compassionate wisdom, for our souls to rest here where it's meant to be and not feel traumatized all the time, but feel
mm,
safe because we chose it. And we said, I'm empowering myself because by me choosing it, as God has said, we have free will. That's our God-given right. Our free will. We have a God-given right to heal. We have a God-given right to call upon angels. We have a God-given right to use the spiritual lights of free will. We're meant to have a good health, good life, to thrive. That's a God-given right? So in a way, as the soul starts to remember, we remember our God-given rights. So why not start consciously using it? So as we come together for the Soul to Soul Summit, we're celebrating our free will.
mm,
We're celebrating our individual souls. We're not just communicating here physically, word by word. There's a vibration, there's a frequency, there's so much more where the soul is like, I want to come back down and I want to live my purpose again. And so all our souls in a deep subconscious way are communicating together. Maybe they're saying, hey, come on, let's get together and, do more of this stuff in the future. So I doubt that this is going to be our only soul to soul summit. We've with Kath, our whole community, we're looking at another March soul to soul.
mm,
Because as human beings, it's very easy to forget. You get drawn into your circumstances of the day because living on earth is really hard. And you forget your God-given rights. You forget your free will. You forget your tools that you can use at a given moment. But that's why we need our support. So
mm,
my job here is to help you remember, hey, there's more to you than meets the eye. You are supernatural, and even Anthony has shared, you are more powerful than you can ever know. So why not come together with a Soul to Soul Summit to ignite that and say and be curious, even though we're in Mattress Island, what would that be? If Anthony really says that I'm more powerful than I could ever know, then I would like to experience that.
mm. Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I approach soul to soul. But obviously, with everybody coming together, they're bringing their soul energy into the mix. So it's this huge integration of souls celebrating. So I just see a brilliant light dance. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I see for the Soul to Soul Summit, saying nothing's going to take us down. We're more powerful because we're under the authority of heaven. We're under the
Mm-hmm.
authority of God. We're not under anything else. We're under the authority of compassion, light, love, all of that stuff. And we're more powerful than anything.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
And
It reminds me,
that's our truth. Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. It reminds me so much of the brain meditation. And you're walking over the bridge, and there's all the holes and all the debris in front of you, and then but there's like a lemonade stand, a dog on a leash, people
Yes.
fishing over the side, and so there's these remembrances of light, and it in the meditation, it's like seeing those remembrances or seeing other people with their light. It helps us to remember and keep going forward, even though it looks like there's a bunch of holes. And when we step over the hole, it fills in, right? It's the faith, the trust,
Yeah,
and I love that. That's amazing. And then
it
also too, what you were
is.
speaking to with the just having our presence, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like you don't have to say the greatest words in the world. If you just show up with your energy and your love and your compassion and your story, it's like that's healing in of itself. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, this is what I see throughout the whole Soul to Soul Summit and all the presenters coming together. So it's really beautiful to be a part of.
It is.
Um,
It's a powerhouse. Olin here shares oh, Ingrid Vedenbrand, is that how you I'd be happy to listening to you. Oh, you're so sweet.
mm,
So 144 KUAL, what is that? 144,000 unknown angels, Lynn. She says, yes, celebration of the soul, inspiring each and every one doing this together with the light. Yeah, because we're more powerful together.
mm, mm-hmm.
So it's like we're bringing that community of light together so that it
Yes.
can really amplify the light. So Kathy's looking at 3/6/2026 for 9 days.
Nice.
So
Wow.
yeah, we're dropping that.
Amazing.
I'm gonna drop a bomb, a really good bomb, a light bomb. So I shared with you the vision of having a physical sanctuary, right? In
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of this
Yeah.
interview. Well, I'm always the type of person that when I get inspired or I'm being directed from above, I'm hearing, and I've had so many validations already, that it is time for us to start putting attention on creating that physical sanctuary. So this is my official announcement. I know Kathy Bauman, where she doesn't even know like, well, how's that gonna be? But that's how I work. I'm like, I don't know. I said like beginning of the year, I'm just like, we're doing a soul to soul summit. She's like, what is that? I don't know. How are you going to do it? I don't know. Who's going to come together? I have no idea. So, this is my official announcement that we are going to be on a mission to start creating or fundraising or whatever it is, whatever the start is, for an actual physical location so that we could actually help people 24/7.
Wow. There it
I'm
is.
just putting it out there now.
Hot
That's
off
my
the presses.
commitment. Commitment. When is it going to happen? I don't know. So it
Well,
could be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but we're going to make it very official soon. But that's because I've seen so many of you, right? I've connected with so many of you on Mattress Island doing it alone, doing it alone. And it's
mm-hmm.
like, no, healing isn't meant to be alone. We have to bring back the community aspect of healing back to helping each other.
Mm,
Why not create it ourselves? You know? So we're going to take it into our own hands just like I
Mm,
did for my mom's health, just like I did for my daughter's health, for my family's, and to support the community. So why not create it, right?
mm,
And who
mm,
knows who's gonna be brought together,
mhm,
because there's so much abundance in the world, and no one's gonna know. And here's about the forgotten soul. No one's gonna know if you do not speak up. No one's gonna know if you don't reach out for help. Even if we can't help you, or some people can't help you, but some people can, even if it's a little bit at a time. From my experience, that little bit is that next stepping stone to the next little bit. And I know it's going to be hard for some people. It's like, why can't it happen now? I'm struggling here, Dr. Jaena. I hear you, but we have to start somewhere. We started with the core. We keep growing, right? Books, sweepstakes. Now we're on the core four supplements. We've been doing mentorships with the Compassionate Healing Circle. Now we're doing the Soul to Soul Summit, which, by the way, there's like, I think, 150 registrants, 150 registrants
mm.
already.
Wow.
And we've raised almost $2,400.
Mm, that's amazing.
This is what happens when we come together as a community.
Mm, mm,
So, and it's not just our minds coming together, there's a greater mind from a greater source that's completely deeply in compassion and love with the angels that's really helping us. So,
mm.
how is that going to appear? It's going to be very awesome.
Very awesome. I love that. Amazing. Yeah, and if you guys haven't registered yet, Grandmalita Brenda, I see your question. Can you give dates and cost of summit? So the dates are
Yeah,
September 9th through 17th. And um, yeah, Dr. Jana, there's four tiers, I believe, right? Free, and then
there's
there's
four
three others.
tiers. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So there's just the basic tier where you can attend all of the soulful presenters, and that's free. And then there's tiers 36, 81, 144, and then there's benefits to each one. So these types of things, you can't just price it, and the people that can't pay, oh, sorry. No, we try to make everything that we do available. And if you want to donate so that you could have more benefits, then, we have that option too.
Mm, mm.
And it helps
Awesome.
us out. We get to support the forgotten souls, right? With
Mm,
supplements and then hopefully a new physical space. So, so that's what it's all
cool.
about.
Coming
Stronger
soon.
together.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. Love this. Thank you, Grandmalita says. Yes. Thank you. And yes, if you
Oh,
haven't registered, anybody watching this, yep, go up to the link in the bio and register there. And yeah, for such a good cause. It's for the Core Four Healing Supplement, and the project, the Patron project for people run really struggling on Mattress Island, really struggling with chronic illness. So it's for a great cause. Give what you
it
can. We
is.
want everybody there. And yes, thank you, Dr. Jaena. This has been great. It's flown by. It's been
Yes.
over an hour, but it's flown by.
I know, right?
We
Jonathan, we
covered
could
a lot of
talk.
ground.
We could talk a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. There was so many different things I was thinking of when you were talking, like about the liver and about the soul. I'm like, all right, let's just focus.
I know, right?
Let's so
What does Kathy share? Do you want to explain the raffle real fast? Okay, so there's two raffles going on right now. One raffle is a Soul to Soul volunteer raffle. It's a fun one. We have certain gifts, like you can win a raffle ticket to the big raffle called
mm,
Light It Up raffle. For that one, we have like a $250 Vimergy gift card that Vimergy donated. We have a $200 Vimergy gift card that Lynn donated. Joshua donated a really expensive cutting board, like $150.
mm,
Um, Care to Clans donated a couple of her books, Heavenly Whispers and the Orchard, the Magic Orchard. Oh no, I'm missing. But that's when I'm not done yet. I'm still gathering prizes because I want to make sure that there's plenty of winners for that one. But for the volunteer raffle, we're doing that right now. So check out our posts. Anytime you see a shareable post at the end of a post or reel, once you start tagging people and sharing the stories, you start earning tickets for the raffle. So right now, for that volunteer raffle, we have a $150 gift card to Amazon that I'm donating. We have three three bottles of trial size zinc that we're donating. We're donating Light It Up giveaway tickets. um, what else? There's something else. Yeah. So, but you'll see it. It's posted right now
Mm,
currently. So if you
mm,
go to our Heal Live Thrive community IG account, you'll see that post. So just it's just a fun way of sharing our Soul to Soul Summit. And you, what do you get? You get a chance to win some fun prizes.
mm.
So
Awesome.
so
Amazing.
that's
Cool. Everybody check that out. Yeah, look for those shareable posts, and yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody at the summit. And I believe, was this the last interview, pre-interview for before the summit?
it is.
It
This
is.
is my
Okay.
last interview. So yeah, and then we're gonna be getting that summit started on September 9th.
Amazing.
So
Cool.
yeah, and
All
then
right.
for the volunteer raffle, we'll get the names for the winners on the 7th. Oh
Okay.
yeah, we're giving away tickets to the summit too
Mm,
that day.
awesome.
From the tiers, there's the second tier, third tier, and fourth tier. So you could either win the $36 tier, the $81 tier, or the $144 tier. So we're giving away tickets to the summit for that one too,
Awesome.
just for fun. We here's another thing about Heal Live Thrive community. We like to spread light and joy. So we like to try to, create some fun and things to just get our community involved. We call it a soul to soul volunteer giveaway because you're volunteering to share to share our
Mm.
posts. So so that's what it's all about.
Yes. Every pair of eyes counts. Every soul counts.
You never know who it's gonna touch. I
Hmm.
swear, like in my journey, just from my life alone, one moment can change a life. Like I wouldn't have been a chiropractor if my organic chem teacher didn't introduce me to it.
Mm.
I would not have looked at it. My chem teacher, I was just in his office one day. He goes, "What are you doing? Where are you going to be when you grow up?" I go, "Well, my mom wants me to be a medical doctor," I tell him. And I'm like, "Well, I'm looking at Chinese medicine. I'm looking at physical therapy." He goes, "Well, have you looked into chiropractic?" I go, "No." He goes, "Well, number one, there's not that many women in it." I'm like, "Oh, interesting. Okay." And then second, he goes, "You can incorporate nutrition, you can incorporate acupuncture, you can incorporate whatever you want into it." I
Mm.
go, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here's a tape of the college that's like an hour away from where I live." And then I watched that
Mm.
video and it talked about the nervous system,
Mm.
how it's the master system of the body, which is Anthony says your nervous system is your connection to the divine. So my purpose in my lifetime is to help you harness your nervous system's connection to the divine power that you
Mm.
have.
Mm. I
So
love
it
that.
just clear, like when I think about medical medium now, I'm just like, that's not what I'm going to talk about. How can
Mm.
we harness that power?
Mm.
As it relates to the liver, which is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like moment in time, this soul to soul summit can change a person's life. It could change a person's trajectory. You can be going in one way because you've been stuck in a pattern, seeing things the same way, you know, and no light, there's no light there, like blinded, right? Because You're in Mattress Island. Who are you connecting with? You know, for some people, right? Or some people are just caregiving, caregiving, caregiving. They can't even lift their head up to look around
Mm,
because that was my life for a while with for over a year. But the whole point is like, can you shift a degree? Because that 1 degree can take
mm,
you to a whole new destination
mm,
that is so much more in alignment with your soul purpose.
mhm,
That 1 degree. So who can we affect that can just shift a person's because once you shift a person's perspective, oh boy, they see the world differently. Or maybe they experience something so profound where they're like, this is what wholeness feels like. Because some people will get glimpses of things, wholeness, peace, healing, because in that moment their pain went away. How is that possible? I've had people do the sacred safety posture with me, and after doing it, they're like, Dr. Jaena, my pain went away.
mm.
What?
Yeah, that's amazing. Even a
And
little
you
bit
weren't
more
even
sleep.
doing it. Yeah, yeah, even
Mm,
people sleep during my sacred safety posture. Great.
mm,
That means you're in a highly parasympathetic healing state.
mhm.
And my goal is to put everyone to sleep
Yeah.
during such a I'm like, cool, you look my you. Working on we're good.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
amazing.
so that's my goal, everybody, for the Soul to Soul Summit. I'm putting everyone to sleep.
That's amazing. Amazing. And so
Yeah.
where can I know this is the Soul to Soul Summit we're speaking of, but where can people find more about you and updates around what you're doing and maybe updates around, getting a brick and mortar for the Heal Live Thrive in the coming months and years? Where can they find more?
Yeah, I mean, on our Heal It Thrive community page, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure we're going to be posting on our website, Heal It Thrive Community, or healifthrive.org is our website. So any one of those, and if you want to connect with me, as a practitioner, you could go to Simple Balance Health, Simple Balance Health website, and it's basically simplebalancehealth.com or
Mm,
the Instagram page, Simple Balance Health. But I'm you all. I already committed to God that I'm working for the light and working for all of you,
yes,
regardless of what goes on. I'm staying on course. So
yes, and thank you so much for
yeah,
your passion and your purpose. And yeah, thank you to everyone who joined on the call and
yeah. Thank you,
commented and all the
everybody.
love in the comments. And yes, so excited, really excited about the
Oh,
summit. And
I know. Look at Walk Upon Water 144 says, was doing the sacred safety posture just now helped relieve pressure on my head. This sacred
mm,
posture works. Oh my goodness. Samurai 369. I fell asleep once, if not twice. I did my job then.
there you go,
And that's
amazing.
what safety does, everybody. It gets you
Mm,
in such a calm state. That naturally happens. That's a natural side effect of it.
mm. Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jan. This has been amazing. And yeah, I'm
Well,
really
thank you,
excited about the summit.
Jonathan.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome. Thank
I
you.
always love our interviews because you
Yeah.
let me talk. But I love your insights though. Again, I'm grateful for you and everybody that's a part of the Healer Thrive community team. Like we're only able to do this because of all the souls working really hard to
Mm,
put this Soul to Soul Summit together.
yeah.
And no one's getting paid. We're doing this
Mm,
out of just our soul purpose. We
mm,
get more from helping out and growing our souls grow gold, right? Uh,
hmm.
and that's just where we're coming from, our whole
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. It is a pleasure to be a part of it. And yes, and to see behind the scenes of all the people that are doing, so much work. And there's so many of them. And I know Kathy's one of them. And there's many others.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, it's really amazing to see. And yeah, awesome. So thank you again, Dr. Jaena. This has been great.
Thank
And
you. So go
Yes.
register if you
Go
haven't
register,
registered already. Go, go, go,
and
go, go.
we'll see everybody
And
there.
share, 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 share.
Share, yes, share as much as you can. And look out for those posts, those shareable posts. So,
Yes, keep an eye
yeah,
out. All right.
yes.
Thank you,
All
Jonathan.
right. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
everybody.
Happy healing, everybody. All right.
Yes, happy healing. Bye.
Bye.